Hello, good morning guys! Welcome to our day 3 bookkeeping tutorial series. Previous day in our day 1, we discussed about the introduction of bookkeeping. We defined what is bookkeeping and its function. Also, we differentiate the bookkeeping versus accounting. On our day 2, we started about the understanding of the accounts and transactions. So we discussed also about the accounting equation, the basic accounting equation, that is the assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity, and that is a foundation of the bookkeeping. We also tackled about the charts of accounts that consists of the 5 major accounts and each account titles. Alright guys, for today's video on our day 3, we will tackle the rules of debit and credit. So by this time guys, kailangan natin na ma-analyze ng mabuti kung paano gawin o paano ita-transact pagdating po sa debit and credit. So let's master this. Why? Because on our next video, on our day 4 and 5, we will start to prepare a journalizing of interest and of course to prepare basic financial statements. Alright, so without further ado, let's start now. Ano ba yung mga accounts under ng debit and account under the credit? So let's start our learning objectives. Define what debit and credit mean in a bookkeeping. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng debit and credit? Paano ba natin i-place yung transactions under the debit and under the credit? Second is to identify which accounts increase or decrease with a debit or a credit. Now, matatakal din natin kung ano yung mga accounts na nag-i-increase siya with the debit and magdi-decrease siya with the credit. So, based on our major accounts, we will now understand why the asset increases or why is it decreases. No? Sa madaling salita, makita natin na pag may movement po ng major account natin, ibig sabihin nagkakaroon siya ng transaction, either may additional or may na cash under our asset or mayroong nabawas or na-reduce on our asset, the same as on the other major accounts. Alright, so let's define first what are debit and credit. If we say debit or DR is an entry recorded on the left side of a ledger, while credit is recorded on the right side. Guys, debit also, it represents value coming into an account. Pag may pumapasok po sa account natin, malamang may record natin ito under the debit side, which is the left side of a ledger. Otherwise, the credit naman represents also a value leaving an account. It means may ilalabas tayo or may lumalabas na amount from our from different accounts, no? Again, yung debit natin, value coming into an account, while credit represents value leaving an account. So guys, the debit and credit both must be equal at all times. Note that every financial transaction requires both an equal debit and credit. So, pag meron tayong i-transact, it must be recorded either the debit or a credit or both. It must be recorded on the debit and the credit side. So guys, are you familiar with this notebook? This is what we call the columnar notebook. This columnar notebook has different columns. No, it has 2 columns, 4 columns, and 6 columns, so on and so forth. So it has different function, but they are the same. What we call the columnar notebook. Why? Because inside this notebook, you can see this. Naa siya vertical lines, color red, no, and blue, and meron din siyang horizontal line, color and blue. So each column, guys, we have 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But this columnar notebook is a 2-column notebook. No, na 2 column ni siya, as you can see here, 4 and 5. This is what we call the column na ginamin. Ito yung ginamin na column. Ibig sabihin, dalawa lang po yung include na column, which is the debit and credit. No? And each column, pwede natin siya ilagay dito sa first column, yung date. Sa pangalawa naman, ang ilalagay natin dito ay pwede po siyang lagyan ng account titles or particulars or the explanation. The third is called the PR or the page reference. And fourth and fifth is the debit, which is your left side, and credit, which is your right side. Guys, ito lang yung dalawa ang sinasabi na column ha. Though it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the specific definition of the columnar notebook that has 2 columns is this, that you can put this one, debit and credit. This is 2 column. This is 2 column notebook. No, yeah. So, kailangan natin talaga maintindihan kung saan natin ilalagay yung amount, either the debit or credit. So, the questions here is that, ano ba yung mga accounts natin na pwedeng masabi natin na under siya ng debit, no? Or under siya ng credit. Yun. Okay. Now, let's proceed this the golden rules of debit and credit. No? It means that in a double entry accounting, every transaction affects at least 2 accounts. The golden rules of debit and credit depend on the type of account. So, ang ibig sabihin, guys, no, every transaction has at least 2 accounts. If mayroong transactions, halimbawa, nag-purchase tayo ng supplies, no? Pag makikita natin is purchase supplies. Ibig sabihin, kahit purchase supplies lang yung na-mention, we have to make sure what is the account affects on the debit side and the account affects on the credit side. It must always equal. Okay? Sinabi rin dito na golden rules of debit and credit depend on the type of account. So, remember our major account, guys. We have yan, assets, expenses, owner's equity, revenue, and liabilities. Each major account, guys, mayroon siyang tinatawag natin na normal balance or the default side. Pag sinabi nating asset, yung normal balance niya or default side is debit. So lahat po ng transaction related to asset, unang-una natin ipopost ito under the debit. Yun yung default side niya. For the expenses naman, yung normal balance niya is debit. Lahat ng expenses ay kailangan maipost under the debit side. The owner's equity must be posted under the credit side, which is your right side, as well as the revenue and the liabilities. It must be posted under the credit side. So, it means that lahat ng transactions natin for asset and expense, kailangan ipopost natin siya on the debit side, which is the left side. While the owner's equity, revenue, liabilities, yung default side niya is credit. No? Kung mag-increase yung owner's equity natin, ibig sabihin, meron tayong dinagdag on the credit side. Pag mag-increase yung revenue natin, ibig sabihin meron tayong dinagdag under the credit side, as well as the liabilities. Credit side, mag-increase pa rin. Pag asset naman, or assets and expenses, pag nag-increase sila, it means meron tayong dinagdag on the debit side. Alright? So here, we have an increase on and decrease on. Kailan ba natin masasabi na nag-increase yung asset natin? Ganito siya, guys. Yun, as I've mentioned earlier, pag mag-increase yung asset, it must be recorded on the debit. That is, what the normal balance of the assets. And if mag-decrease siya, i-record natin on the credit side. Okay? Same as with the expenses. Debit if mag-increase, and credit kung meron ibabawas. Dito naman sa owner's equity and revenue as well as liabilities, pag mag-increase, credit side. Pero pag magbawas or mag-reduce, under siya ng debit side. Opposite sila, guys. Asset and expenses, opposite siya with the owner's equity, revenue, and liabilities. So now, guys, let's tackle each one of the major accounts with a specific examples. Okay, for the assets naman, example here, let's make a journal entry. No? Both furniture for cash. So, what is the two accounts affected? Both furniture for cash. So, pag sabihin natin furniture, it means that is an asset. Pag sabihin namin cash, that is an asset as well. So, it means your asset will increase and at the same time, magdi-decrease siya. Here is the entry. Yung furniture natin under the asset, i-debit natin ng 5,000. Nag-increase yung assets. But at the same time, yung cash, under pa rin siya ng asset, nagdi-decrease siya ng 5,000. Kasi nag-purchase tayo ng furniture gamit ang cash. Kaya kung makita nyo dito, ang 5,000 na debit, ito siya, increase. Nag-increase siya, and at the same time, nag-decrease naman yung cash natin. Kaya natin siya nire-record under the credit side. Another example here, collected 8,000 from customer. So, meron kang collectible amount or collectibles account from your customer. Since nare-receive mo yung cash worth of 8,000, guys, this is an 8,000, ha? Okay, change lang natin. Okay. Meaning to say, you receive cash 8,000. Since naka-receive ka ng cash, i-record mo siya ngayon on the debit side. Increases naman yung asset natin kasi cash is asset. Ngayon, nagkakaroon ng reduce or decrease on your account receivable. This is also under the asset. I-record mo siya ngayon under the credit. No? Halimbawa, may utang sa iyo yung client mo na 8,000. Ibig sabihin, meron kang collectible sa kanya na 8,000. So, ngayon, nagbabayad siya ng 8,000 para ma-fully pay off na niya yung halimbawa, loan. So, ngayon, since naka-receive ka ng cash, i-record mo siya as cash. Since accounts receivable, since because collectibles siya from your client. No? Yun. Guys, if you have any questions, please comments on our comment sections para matakol natin on our 4 and day session. Another example for the expenses. Kailan natin masasabi na nag-increase yung expense and nag-decrease naman siya at the same time. Here is the journal entry. Paid electric bill of 8,000. Guys, expenses po ito. Ibig sabihin, i-record natin always on the debit side. Electric expense, debit tayo ng 8,000 and cash, which is the asset, credit tayo ng 8,000. Nag-increase yung expense account natin and nag-reduce yung asset natin, which is the cash. So, magiging entry mo, electricity expense, debit ka ng 8,000 and yung cash, which is under the asset, mag-reduce naman siya ng 8,000. So, at this time, nag-increase yung expense mo. Second, the electric company returned the overcharge of 500 pesos gas. Ibig sabihin na overcharge yung bayad mo sa electricity. Kaya binigyan ka ngayon ng 500, ibinalik sa'yo yung 500 pesos in cash. So, what would be your entry for this transaction? Okay, since naka-receive ka, i-record mo siya under the cash 500. Then, i-reverse mo siya electricity expense kasi meron kang nare-receive na overpayment. Naibalik yung 500, ibig sabihin nagkakaroon na ngayon ng reduce on your expenses. No? Instead na 8,000 yung expense mo, binalik sa'yo yung 500, meaning nag-decrease yung expense mo. No? Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng increase and decrease. Na kapag increase siya, i-record natin on the debit, which is the default side of the account. And if meron siyang decrease o magre-reduce siya, i-record natin on the credit side para maibawas natin. Guys, almost every time you record an expense, you will debit the expense account because expenses normally increase. No? You will credit an expense account only when the expense is reduced, corrected, refunded, or closed at the end of the accounting period. Next is the owner's equity. The owner invests 100,000 into the business. As you can see here, it is about the investment. So, what's your entry for these transactions? Investment siya. So, make sure na dalawa yung titingnan mo, no? Meron siyang 100,000. So, therefore, your entry here is related to cash and capital. You receive cash, 100,000 for investment or capital. Kaya, ngayon, mag-increase yung cash mo ng 100,000. And then, yung owner's equity mo, which is the capital, mag-increase naman siya ng 100,000. As we all know that the owner's equity normal balance or the default side is credit. So dito natin siya i-record. Pag mayroong increase, credit. Pag mayroong bawas o decrease ng capital, i-record natin siya on the debit side. Another example here, the owner withdraws 10,000 for personal use. Ibig sabihin, nag-withdraw siya ng 10,000 from his or her capital. So, what will be your entry on this transaction? Since nag-withdraw siya, ang gagawin natin dito, gumawa tayo ng account title na owner's drawing. No? The owner puts money into the business, equity goes up. That is the credit. The owner takes money out of the business, and that is the equity goes down, and that's the debit. Note guys that many businesses use the separate accounts. They use owner's drawing or owner's withdrawal instead of debiting directly on the capital side. But you don't worry naman, ginawaan siya ng account title, and that is proper para ma-specify natin kung magkano yung ni-withdraw during the accounting period. Kasi yung owner's drawing naman is under naman siya ng owner's equity. At the end of the accounting period, i-deduct naman siya on your capital. For example, here, meron tayong capital na 100. Okay? 100,000 capital. Since meron siyang withdrawal, lalagay dito is withdrawal. Meron siyang 10,000. Okay. At the end of the accounting period, magiging ano na lang siya, 90,000. Kasi ibabawas yung withdrawals mo on the owner's equity side. Gets nyo guys? Na baka nagda-doubt kayo, napaisip kayo, uy, bakit owner's drawing ang ginawa account? Capital naman siya dapat. Ganun talaga guys, pwede natin siyang gawan ng separate account title as long as during the end of the accounting period, ibabawas mo yung nawi-withdraw lahat. Magiging updated yung outstanding balance ng capital mo. Ganyan po siya. Guys, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment on our comment section para mapag-usapan natin on our next videos. Next is on the revenue. Okay, receive cash from a customer 2,000 pesos. Guys, as I mentioned, the revenue normally increases on the credit side. Bakit? Kasi ito yung normal side niya. Ito yung normal balance niya. Ito yung default side niya. Pag may increase ang revenue, meron tayong na-earn na mga na-income, i-record natin on the credit side. Okay? Debiting revenue naman is uncommon, and it is typically done only to correct, to reduce, or to reverse the previously recorded revenue. Hindi po siya common na ang revenue natin ay magre-reduce. Maaari lamang natin sang i-reduce if mayroon pong mga correction on our previous entries na nai-record na, no? Kaya natin siya i-debit. So now let's proceed on our statement here or our transactions. Receive cash from a customer of 2,000. So our entry here goes like this. Cash, debit 2,000, sales revenue, credit 2,000. Alright. Now, another example here, a customer returns goods worth of 2,000. Binalik ng customer yung nabili niya sa inyo na worth of 2,000. So, ang mangyari ngayon, magre-reduce yung revenue natin. Okay? So, ito yung entry natin. sales returns and allowances, which is debit, 2,000. Then cash, nag-credit naman tayo ng 2,000 kasi ibinalik natin. Nag-reduce ngayon yung assets natin. So guys, question, why is it sales returns and allowances? Guys, pag mayroong mga returns and losses po ng item, so kailangan natin siyang gawan ng specific account title na sales returns and allowances. No, para madali natin makita, malulocate natin kung magkano ba yung total returns during the period. No, yun yung ginawa natin. Hindi siya directly dideduct natin on the revenue. So ginawa natin, binigyan natin siya ng specific account titles na sales return. Pero at the end of the accounting period, magre-reduce naman ito from your revenue. Ililist naman ito. Ibig sabihin, balance pa rin. Yung running balance ng revenue natin. No? Updated pa rin. Kasi magle-list siya ang sales, returns, and allowances. Under kasi ito ng revenue account. The same with the owner's equity. Yung capital natin at saka yung withdrawal or drawing po. Ganyan po. Next is the liabilities. Liabilities naman, the business borrows the 100,000 from the bank. So what's your entry on this? Okay, cash is 100,000 and loans payable is 100,000. Naka-receive ka ng cash na 100,000 kasi naglo-loan ka sa bangko. So ibig sabihin, meron kang loan payable which is 100,000. Nag-increase yung cash mo ng 100,000 which is your asset. At nag-increase naman yung liabilities mo for loans. Nag-increase yung liabilities mo credit side. Another example, the business pays 5,000 to settle an outstanding loan. Ibig sabihin, binabayaran mo na ngayon yung loans mo worth of 5,000 lang. So, ang mangyari ngayon sa transactions mo, mababawasan ng 5,000. Mababawasan ng 5,000, put it under the debit. Loans payable, debit 5,000. And mababawasan din yung cash mo na 5,000, which is your asset. List 5,000 pa rin. Alright guys, that's all for our video for today. I hope na meron tayong natututunan sa kunting tutorial natin na ito. Guys, please practice the debit and the credit side. Why? Kasi on our 4-day tutorial, magkakaroon tayo ng posting of journal entries. Okay? Ipa-practice natin kung paano tayo magpo-post ng transactions using the Microsoft Excel para madali po natin makikita at maintindihan po. Okay guys, so guys, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to follow, to like, share this video, and of course, turn on your notification button para palagi kayong manonotify during the upload of our next videos. So on our 4th day, we will tackle the journalizing of entries. And on our 5th day, itatakol natin yung preparation of the financial statement. Lahat ng ginawa natin from day 1, day 2, day 3, and the activity on day 4, gagawa natin ngayon ng financial statement on our 5th day tutorial. Alright, thank you guys and God bless.